Dr. Anthony Fauci has a message for Trump. He wants Trump to actively solicit that Trumpsters, the Trump supporters, go out and get their vaccines. Here's Fauci talking about it. Listen.
I hope he does, because the numbers that you gave are so disturbing, how such a large proportion of a certain group of people would not want to get vaccinated merely because of political consideration. It makes absolutely no sense. And I've been saying that for so long. We've got to dissociate political persuasion from what's common sense, no-brainer public health things. The history of vaccinology has rescued us from smallpox, from polio, from measles, from all of the other diseases. What is the problem here?
So this clip is from Meet the Press, an interview with Fauci. And Fauci asks, what is the problem here? And I have an answer for you, Dr. Fauci. The problem here is you. Trump is not a medical guy. You are. And so if people are reluctant to get vaccinated, you have to ask, why don't they trust me? What has the little ogre done that has caused people to go, you know what? I smell a rat. And I smell a rat. Why? It's partly because of the fact that when you look closely at what you've been saying, what Fauci has been saying, there have been radical inconsistencies. There have been propositions advanced as scientific that are not scientific. And there have also been, I think, a political agenda that you, Dr. Fauci, introduced that has caused people to be suspicious. So let's go through those one by one. You were asked, Dr. Fauci was asked in March of 2020 about masks. And he goes, you don't have to wear masks. There's no reason to. And it was pointed out to him at that time that there are people in Asia wearing masks. He goes, no, you don't have to wear a mask. Now, in a recent interview with Mehdi Hassan of, I believe, MSNBC, Fauci says, the reason I said that is because there weren't enough masks available. Wait a minute. If there aren't enough masks available, your advice should have been different. It would be good to wear a mask, but we don't have enough available. That's completely different from telling people you don't need to wear a mask. So this is deception. Because you didn't have the masks, you decided to sort of tell people they don't need one, and that's dishonest. Now we turn to the science, things like the social distancing, the 6 feet requirement. Now, if you go to the CDC's website, you see a lot of ambiguity on the website itself. It says things like, let me look over here. COVID-19 is thought to spread mainly through close contact from person to person in respiratory droplets from someone who's infected. People who are infected often have symptoms of illness. Some people without symptoms may be able to spread the virus. 3 words jump out at me. COVID-19 is thought to spread. It's not known to spread, it's thought to spread. And then let's look at the last sentence more closely. Some people, not most, not all, without symptoms may be able to spread the virus. They may, which also means they may not. And where did this whole business about 6 feet come from? It turns out, and I'm now quoting the New York Times, according to the New York Times, the strategy, quote, saved thousands of lives during the Spanish flu pandemic of 1918, and more recently in Mexico City during the flu pandemic of 2009. So that's where we get it. It's not even based upon any science specific to COVID. It's like, we tried this a century ago. Why not try it again? At first, the CDC said we don't want to have large gatherings, and at one point they were talking about 250 people. Then magically they decided it's going to be 10 people. 10 people. Why'd you come up with 10? Why not 20? Why not 50? It turns out they make this stuff up as they go along, and they don't supply to us the rationale for why they draw the lines that they do. Now, the worst thing about Fauci, I think, is the fact that he goes dead silent when it comes to public gatherings on the left. We noticed this during the Black Lives Matter protests, the Antifa gatherings, the gatherings for George Floyd, the 10 funerals, and so on. Where was Fauci? Nowhere to be found. So he jumps up like a jack-in-the-box every time some family gathering is occurring or someone's trying to meet in a church portal. And now look at the border. Here's a little photo, which I'm showing. It's a photo of migrants that are kind of packed like sardines. This is 25 migrants in a rail car in Texas. You would think that Fauci would be like, wow, this is terrible. This is a super spreader event. All these people, one on top of the other, being held in unsanitary facilities. Not a word. He's dead silent about it. So the bottom line of it is, and I must say, Debbie's always liked Fauci. She thinks Fauci has been, by and large, an honest broker, but not on this. Not on this. So Fauci, if you want people on the Trump side of the equation to feel better about getting vaccinated, you might want to be a little more honest, a little more open, a little more scientific, and politically speaking, a little bit more consistent.